Good morning. Thank you for joining me today. This morning we'll be in Ecclesiastes chapter 10, verse 1 through chapter 12, verse 14. One dead fly makes the perfumer's ointment give off a rancid stench, so a little folly can outweigh much wisdom. A wise person's good sense protects him, but a fool's lack of sense leaves him vulnerable. Even when a fool walks along the road, he lacks sense, and shows everyone what a fool he is. If the anger of the ruler flares up against you, do not resign from your position, for a calm response can undo great offenses. I've seen another misfortune on the earth. It is an error a ruler makes. Fools are placed in many positions of authority, while wealthy men sit in lowly positions. I've seen slaves on horseback, and princes walking on foot like slaves. One who digs a pit may fall into it, and one who breaks through a wall may be bitten by a snake. One who quarries stones may be injured by them. One who splits logs may be endangered by them. If an iron axe head is blunt and workman does not sharpen its edge, he must exert a great deal of effort, so wisdom has the advantage of giving success. If the snake should bite before it is charmed, the snake charmer is in trouble. The words of a wise person win him favor, but the words of a fool are self-destructive. At the beginning his words are foolish, and at the end his talk is wicked madness. Yet a fool keeps on babbling. No one knows what will happen. Who can tell him what will happen in the future? The toil of a stupid fool wears him out, because he does not even know the way to the city. Woe to you, O land, when your king is childish, and your princes feast in the morning. Blessed are you, O land, when your king is the son of nobility, and your princes feast at the proper time, with self-control and not in drunkenness, because of laziness. The roof caves in, and because of idle hands, the house leaks. Feasts are made for laughter, and wine makes life merry, but money is the answer for everything. Do not curse a king, even in your thoughts, and do not curse the rich while in your bedroom, for a bird might report what you are thinking, or some winged creature might repeat your words. Send your grain overseas, for after many days you will get a return. Divide your merchandise among 7 or even 8 investments, for you do not know what calamity may happen on earth. If the clouds are full of rain, they will empty themselves on the earth, and whether a tree falls to the south or to the north, the tree will lie wherever it falls. He who watches the wind will not sow, and he who observes the clouds will not reap. Just as you do not know the path of the wind, or how the bones form in the womb of a pregnant woman, so you do not know the work of God who makes everything. Sow your seed in the morning, and do not stop working until the evening, for you do not know which activity will succeed, whether this one or that one, or whether both will prosper equally. Light is sweet, and it is pleasant for a person to see the sun. So if a man lives many years, let him rejoice in them all, but let him remember that the days of darkness will be many. All that is about to come is obscure. Rejoice, young man, while you are young, and let your heart cheer you in the days of your youth. Follow the impulses of your heart and the desire of your eyes, but know that God will judge your motives and actions. Banish emotional stress from your mind, and put away pain from your body, for youth and the prime of life are fleeting. So remember your Creator in the days of your youth, before the difficult days come and in the years draw near, when you will say, I have no pleasure in them, before the sun and the light of the moon and the stars grow dark, and the clouds disappear after the rain, when those who keep watch over the house begin to tremble, and the virile men begin to stoop over, and the grinders begin to cease, because they grow few, and those who look through the windows grow dim. And the doors along the street are shut, when the sound of the grinding mill grows low, and one is awakened by the sound of a bird, and all their songs grow faint, and they are afraid of heights. And the danger is in the street. The almond blossoms grow white, and the grasshopper drags itself along, and the caperberry shrivels up, because man goes to his eternal home, and the mourners go about in the streets. Before the silver cord is removed, or the golden bowl is broken, or the pitcher is shattered at the well, or the water wheel is broken at the cistern, and the dust returns to the earth as it was, and life's breath returns to God who gave it. Absolute futility, laments the teacher. All of these things are futile. Not only was the teacher wise, but he also taught knowledge to the people. He carefully evaluated and arranged many proverbs. The teacher sought to find delightful words and to write accurately truthful sayings. The words of the sages are like prods, and the collected sayings are like firmly fixed nails. They are given by one shepherd. Be warned, my son, of anything in addition to them. There's no end to the making of many books, and much study is exhausting to the body. Having heard everything, I have reached this conclusion. Fear God and keep his commandments, because this is the whole duty of man. For God will evaluate every deed, including every secret thing, whether good or evil. So, thus ends the book of Ecclesiastes. Yeah, and I do think at the end it's sound advice to fear God and keep his commandments, because this is the whole duty of man, for God will evaluate every deed, including every secret thing, whether good or evil. Yeah, and under Solomon's under the sun premise, much of the life, well, these lives we live under the sun are futile. But considering eternity and considering that God will evaluate every deed, including every secret thing, nothing is futile. So, yeah. Which is why it's important, I think, to have a mind toward what are we doing? Are we doing what we're doing for God? Or is it carnal in nature? Solomon discussed several evils he's seen, in particular, a little foolishness outweighing much wisdom. And I know for myself it can be very difficult to recommend a teacher if there's even, if the majority of his message is good, but there's a little foolishness mixed in. So. Okay. Don't have too much more to say about that this morning. 2 Corinthians chapter 8, verses 1 through 15. Now, we make known to you, brothers and sisters, the grace of God given to the churches of Macedonia, that during a severe ordeal of suffering, their abundant joy and their extreme poverty have overflowed in the wealth of their generosity. For I testify, they gave according to their means, and beyond their means. They did so voluntarily, begging us with great earnestness for the blessing and fellowship of helping the saints. And they did this not just as we had hoped, but they gave themselves first to the Lord and to us by the will of God. Thus we urged Titus that, just as he had previously begun this work, so also he should complete this act of kindness for you. But as you excel in everything, in faith, in speech, in knowledge, and in all eagerness, and in the love from us that is in you, make sure that you excel in this act of kindness too. I am not saying this as a command, but I am testing the genuineness of your love by comparison with the eagerness of others. For you know the grace of our Lord Jesus Christ, that although he was rich, he became poor for your sakes, so that you, by his poverty, could become rich. So here is my opinion on this matter. It is to your advantage, since you made a good start last year, both in your giving and your desire to give, to finish what you started, so that just as you wanted to do it eagerly, you can also complete it according to your means. For if the eagerness is present, the gift itself is acceptable according to whatever one has, not according to what he does not have. For I do not say this so there would be relief for others and suffering for you, but as a matter of equality. At the present time, your abundance will meet their need, so that one day their abundance may also meet your need, and thus there may be equality. As it is written, the one who gathered much did not have too much, and the one who gathered little did not have too little. That's a cool approach to the whole issue. That's you have the church helping out each other. That when people are suffering in the body of Christ, other members can step up and help meet the deficit. So Paul saying the church of Macedonia helped by giving generously beyond their means, and he is encouraging the church in Corinth also to give generously to help meet the needs of the church elsewhere. I think this is for collecting a gift for the church in Jerusalem because it's struggling at the moment. This is written. So, carrying on, Psalm chapter 49, verses 1 through 20. Listen to this, all you nations. Pay attention, all you inhabitants of the world. Pay attention, all you people, both rich and poor. I will declare a wise saying. I will share my profound thoughts. I will learn a song that imparts wisdom. I will then sing my insightful song to the accompaniment of a harp. Why should I be afraid in times of trouble, when the sinful deeds of deceptive men threaten to overwhelm me? They trust in their wealth and boast in their great riches. Certainly a man cannot rescue his brother. He cannot pay God an adequate ransom price. The ransom price for a human life is too high, and people go to their final destiny, so that he might continue to live forever and not experience death. Surely one sees that even wise people die. Fools and spiritually insensitive people all pass away and leave their wealth to others. Their grave becomes their permanent residence, their eternal dwelling place. They name their lands after themselves. But despite their wealth, people do not fast. They are like animals that perish. This is the destiny of fools and of those who approve of their philosophy. Selah. They will travel to Sheol like sheep, with death as their shepherd. The godly will rule over them when the day of vindication dawns. Sheol will consume their bodies, and they will no longer live in impressive houses. But God will rescue my life from the power of Sheol. Certainly he will pull me to safety. Selah. Do not be afraid when a man becomes rich and his wealth multiplies, for he will take nothing with him when he dies. His wealth will not follow him down into the grave. He pronounces this blessing on himself while he is alive. May men praise you, for you have done well. But he will join his ancestors. They will never again see the light of day. Wealthy people do not understand. They are like animals that perish. Just a note of clarification here. In Psalms 49, verses 7 through 9, verse 8 is in parentheses, presumably to interrupt the flow. So, certainly a man cannot rescue his brother. He cannot pay God an adequate ransom price. And it carries on, so that he might continue to live forever and not experience death. With the side note being, the ransom price for a human life is too high, and people go to their final destiny. So. You have, in the very end here, this wealthy man. And the psalmist, like Solomon here, notes his final fate. For he will take nothing with him when he dies. His wealth will not follow him down into the grave. 49:17. And he pronounces a blessing on himself while he's still alive. May men praise you, for you have done well. So he's got the positive self-talk down pat. But ultimately, if he's just hoarding wealth for himself, like the preacher says in Ecclesiastes, then that's ultimately to his own trouble. It's better to be charitable so that so that he can do good things in the sight of God. Yeah. Carrying on, Proverbs chapter 22, verses 20 and 21. Have I not written 30 sayings for you, sayings of counsel and knowledge, to show you true and reliable words, so that you may give accurate answers to those who sent you? Yeah, I do think it's important to pass on the knowledge that we have to younger generations and our friends and our relatives and whoever will listen. So, yeah, well, thank you for joining me today. Hope you have a great day. Bye.